Good morning and welcome to Superpower Broadcasting. I'm your host, Kevin Castley. Thank you for tuning in right now. I know the spookster over here brought in some people for the get-go here because he was streaming before. And actually, we had a lot of people in our community streaming today. We had Jaeger, we had Henry, we had Reese, and now we got me. I'll probably be the last one. Well, I guess it's a new day now, so there'll be other people streaming later in the day, but I'm about to go to bed soon. But I did want to do a stream here just to give a shout out to the base Patron Gang and everything. We're back over $100, so I'm going to start, actually having, daily premieres and stuff out again. Neocon Unilateralist Expansionist is, and no, that's not an MMI sock. He's not MMI.
I'm his twin brother.
He's his twin brother.
I killed him. I killed MMI. He's gone forever.
There we go.
I did it for Reese and Kevin.
Oh man, but he joined the Patron Gang, so we're back over $100 a month, and so we'll have 60 videos again each month. So big ups to all the patrons. I will say. It does piss people off because I've been asked, on a few occasions by people, where they'll say, well, actually on many more than a few occasions, but just in my role as the host of this channel on a few occasions, usually it's on my meme page when I get this question, but are you trolling? Or is this a bit? Or are you satire? And my response always is, what do you think? Like, because if I'm satire, the implication there is that everybody in our community is satire, that all the Patron gang is satire, that all the Ko-Fi gang is satire, that everybody who sends me the PayPal donations during debates and stuff, it's just ironic, bro. I guess that's what it is. The whole thing is just irony. I've taken the last 2 years for irony, bro. I guess that's
My
irony. Yeah. Like what? I'm supposed to be like a USS Liberta building 1 guy, and then never mind building 7, just go building 1, like Bush did everything basically. That's what I'm supposed to be, I guess. Like you would live in a bubble, by the way. When if anybody disagrees with you, you have to ask, is this a parody?
Yeah, it's so unheard of for someone to hold a mainstream opinion. Must be a troll, man.
Probably a troll. That's right. That's why when I see somebody like Kyle or Jimmy or whatever, I'm always like, he's probably just a troll, man. We can move on.
This is a bit, man. This is like
a bit.
It's like the.
It's just a meme, bro.
It's like when Stephen Colbert was a fake conservative. It's basically just that.
Yeah, basically, that's what it is. That's what it is. Everybody's a hawk, and if they're not a hawk, they're just trolling. Like how dumb of a worldview would that be? But in reverse, people are like, "Oh yeah, well that makes sense," because like, how could there be any hawks? You guys are ironic hawks, right? We're all ironic here, right?
We're ironic Trotskyists.
That's right. Like at the end of the day, we're just comrades and irony comrades and
Hello, comrade.
Yeah, me and the boys reading. What was his book like? Permanent Revolution or whatever the fuck. Anyway,
manufacturing consent.
Yes, manufacturing.
Oh yeah, Jimmy did that meme yesterday. My manufacturing consent, bro.
Oh man.
I was face palming the entire fucking time, dude. You should have been there.
Dude, I've been manufacturing consent since 2019, so been doing my part. So Noam Chomsky, tell you this, Noam Chomsky, Nutter Noam Chomsky, the Snoring and Born, he can go and suck it. So
Kronsky.
Noam Chomsky.
Tronsky. Yeah. By the way, like seriously, like because it's funny because I saw your comment on like one of my favorite interviews with Bill Kristol expansionist. And because that was one of the videos I was telling you about, like a little while back. I was like, no, seriously, you just watch this video where, you know, it's a couple guys, you know, just talking and whatever. And you go in the comments and it's just, oh man, but like, I got news. Bill Kristol's a Trotskyite, just like his dad, and all this shit. And it's like,
yeah, I searched
for 18 months when in his 20s. He wasn't even like the neocons didn't even emerge until the 60s. So that was in the 30s. So think about like the time span between when you do some edgy memes versus who you are 30 years from now, and then somebody tries to label not just you, but your entire party or whatever, your entire sort of worldview, plus your kids and their associates and any of their, you know, acolytes. Oh, all you guys would be alt-right because what? You posted some edgy memes on 4chan when you're like 21, and then you became, you know, what, like a neocon or something when you're like 51. So people are like, oh, dude, he's all right. They're literally Hitler or whatever. It's like that would be dumb. But with the Trotsky thing, I mean, I've had serious adults, like even in my personal life and stuff, when I've talked about this, that'll say, you know, and they'll usually be like, you know, supporters of the Conservative Party of Canada or whatever. But like, imagine like the Groyper sort of wing of that, where that exists, and they'll be like, oh man, you know, I mean, I'll tell you this about the neocons. I mean, you should look into their background. They're actually Trotskyites, all this sort of shit. And it's like I've said before that's probably one of the top 10 dumbest memes online. Like it's up there with like 9/11 was an inside job, the USS Liberty. When are you joining the military though? What about Saudi though? It's
like joining the military.
Yeah, it's one of the dumbest memes that you'll see around there. You know,
I think it goes beyond. Like obviously, you talked about the thing with Irving Kristol, but most of what I hear is it's both groups advocated for war.
That's right.
Which would basically be like. It'd be like pointing to Nazi Germany and
I was
the Soviet Union and saying, I know that they were fighting each other, but basically they were the same because they were both fighting a war.
Well, yeah. It's like saying that Attila the Hun was a Trotskyist, right? Like, think about it.
He wanted a war.
We're all either Nazis or Trotskyists.
Well, no, but like you actually listed these people's explanation, because I'll usually like, you know, if they don't know who I am or whatever, you know, they don't know my work or whatnot, I'll just like entertain it and be like, oh, you know, like why do you say that or whatever? And I'll be like, well, you know, they wanted to push us into Iraq and Iran and all this shit, and Trotsky wanted like wars and that kind of thing. And of course, if you think about how dumb that is,
I wonder why.
By that definition, Queen Victoria, the elitist bourgeois, literal monarchist, was a Trotskyite because she did war. She did war against a bunch of countries, right? So, like, I mean, there's that meme of like places named after Queen Victoria. You can help by expanding it, and it's like the British redcoat soldier with the laser eyes. Just like you can help by expanding it. You know, obviously they're going to go and conquer the world. Trotskyites, right? Like Queen Victoria, I got to say, she was one of the biggest. Well, her and Genghis Khan were some of the biggest Trotskyites in the last 1,000 years. You know, there were like Alexander the Great was a big Trotskyite too. He did a bunch of war. So. You know,
the sad thing is the people who call us Trotskyists or Trotsky are actual communists, like Nick Fuentes.
That's the thing. That's the other thing that's funny about it is not all of them are communists. If they are communists, they're usually like the tanky Nazboli type ones, or they're like super paleo-conny isolationists to the point where they see like any intervention ever as you know, inherently like it's like the opposite of Kyle. You know how Kyle always calls any war, oh, that's the right wing talking point. They see any intervention as a left wing thing. So
Glenn Beck did that same shit with George Bush several years ago. He called him a progressive. Because he wanted war.
Because he wanted more, right? No. I mean, I had these people at me today basically saying how there was no difference between neocons and progressives, and I was like, wait, where are the progressives advocating for war and shit? Like, who in the progressive camp? Like, I'll see if I can even find the notification. It was like, it was a long time ago, like probably about 12 hours ago or whatever. But they were basically saying how the two ideologies are indistinguishable because they both support like the military industrial complex, all this sort of shit and everything. And it's like, I mean, when you think that progressives are war hawks, I mean, where do you even start with that? I mean,
yeah, somebody, again, I think it was one of the brainlets who stalks you, came to me, and he was basically saying, like, yeah, actually you're not looking at the full history of people involved in progressive politics, and they've always been warmongers. And it's like, who are you talking about? FDR? Like, are you talking about JFK? Like, I wouldn't even call those guys weren't warmongers, by the way.
No.
They just happened to be involved in wars.
Yeah, FDR didn't exactly choose for Japan and Hitler to declare war on America. Like, I mean, what are you supposed to do? I mean, I know what they would say. But like, okay, I found the tweet because I'll see if I can find it here. Like, okay, it's kind of a cringy string of ones, but basically, I'm not going to post them all. I'll just read it. You guys can find it on Twitter. But basically, this guy ends like this long Twitter thread of just absolute cringe. I mean, I guess I could read through it because it's kind of funny. So back to the debate from last night, and he's referring to my debate with, and this is from a couple days ago, my debate with, I think it was like Liberty Lockdown or something. They were late to the party. Yeah, it was the debate with Liberty Lockdown. And they said debate from last night. But it wasn't from last night. It was from like a week ago.
Already wrong.
Stupid. Already wrong. So first mistake. She comments, dude doesn't understand that we are the bad guys. Oh boy. History always repeats itself. So she's referring to me. And then she says, this loser really wants a second Cold War, doesn't he? And that's referring
we're already in one, so
but it never ended.
Exactly.
Like, it literally never ended. Show me when the Kremlin was favorable to the West. That never happened. Heather Stosberg continues at Liberty Lockpod, says the neocon is stating that Nazi Germany did the thing he's in the neocon goes to describe the very thing Germany did in the 1930s and 40s, JFC. I can't even understand that. Like, it's bad grammar. I'll snip that one because I think that one's a particular doozy to give you an insight into just the functionings of how the brainlet brigades. I mean, you don't have to be an expert at grammar to have a cogent talking point, but it is a running theme with our opponents that they don't have an adequate command of the English language. That seems to be like a constant in all of this. So says the neocon is stating that Nazi Germany did the thing and the neocon goes to describe the very thing Nazi Germany did in the 1930s and 40s. So, like, is she implying that I'm advocating for a Holocaust or invading a bunch of like innocent countries and whatnot? Like, what? Okay, whatever.
Oh god.
Like, thing is, me right now, when the loser, referring to me, gets owned, and it's like it's a gif of a bunch of guys in a stadium cheering for their team. It says, so we're on the topic of drugs. I agree with you, Liberty Lockpod. My take on Neil Khan's response. and I haven't actually read through this thread. I've only seen like a couple spicy sort of takes, but you're basically asking for prohibition, which never works. It didn't work on alcohol either. See 18th and 21st Amendments for detail. That being said, the war on drugs is the long prohibition in American history. My face when neocon loser thinks prohibition works, and drug control is racist. Pass it on. He used to believe what this asshole believes. Now I'm older and realize that it's unrealistic and that some of the laws that are in place now are unconstitutional. I'm not going to touch the military argument. Yeah, she's wrong about that. Like two sources down, literally one thing down, she touches the military argument. The only thing, as someone who has family members in the military, is that the military is for defending the homeland, not expanding power for the elites like the Roman Empire did. So she doesn't understand the idea of preemptive defense as a defense, as opposed to waiting when you know what they're going to do. Why wait for them to build up their arsenal? That's stupid.
Or having an obligation as the world's biggest superpower to actually help those in need.
Oh,
like, let's just stay off and hide somewhere where people are being fucking massacred, a genocide.
No, but she continues. She says, only a leftist has this unrealistic expectation of erasing debt, which is funny because every time I go out to debt, it's always like the Liz types and the sock downs and even a lot of like more neoliberals, but oftentimes like not even neoliberal, like straight up like actual social democrats or even like Democratic socialists that will disagree with that, and they'll say, "What do you mean? How can you limit public debt? The government should borrow money to help people," because they don't know how inflation works anyway. Yet he's advocating for the 20-year war. By the way, I'm not. By the way, for the record, the war would have been over in about 5 years plus 20 years of nation building had it been done right. 20-year war was because Obama and Trump bungled it. Yet he's advocating for the 20-year war that continues to drain the economy and bankrupting the nation. Wait, but it stimulates the economy. Where does she think that those defense contractors and designers of weapons spend their money? They live in America. Like, where does she think people that work at Lockheed spend their money? Do they spend it in Grenada or did they spend that in the United States? I'm pretty sure they buy cars and stuff in America anyway.
Military operations account for like a less than 0.5% of the federal budget.
Yeah.
So what the hell are you talking about?
She says, where's America lording over resources? That's referring to my question. Look at the Middle East, dumbass. What's the resource? Oh, I'm going to highlight this one because it's such a classic. It's such... No.
Dumbass.
It's such a classic because just the irony here. She's calling me a dumbass, but then she goes and does the meme. She literally does the worst for oil meme, dude. She did the meme, dude. Look at this shit.
Dude, no.
Where's
olive oil?
Look at the Middle East, dumbass. What's the resource?
I got 4 likes.
Oil.
Come on.
It's common.
Oh, no.
I also got a quote tweet.
Who would need to cite any evidence when you could just say, hey, guys, it's common sense?
Oh, no. But she continued. She says, of course, he's blaming Iran. Fuck this, dude. Iran isn't to blame. No. This is hilariously ironic. What I'm about to show you is peak irony. It's actually even more ironic than the last one, believe it or not. Way more ironic than the last one. So she goes and accuses me of simping for a murderous regime. But take a look at this. Of course he's blaming Iran. Fuck this dude. Iran isn't to blame. It's Saudi Arabia. Keep simping for murder. No. He's literally simping for Iran. What does she mean? Of course, it's Saudi Arabia. What? Saudi Arabia gives billions of dollars in food aid and tries to keep the region stable and fights terrorism. What does Iran do? They do the exact opposite because they need high oil prices and they want to take over the region. And the more volatile the Middle East, the higher the price of oil. And they need a lot higher price to break even than Saudi Arabia. Duh. They don't have advantageous geography as far as oil extraction goes. And I wonder why they don't have access to Western technology to extract it more efficiently like Saudi does. I wonder why. So obviously it costs more to drill there. And that's where 85% of their government revenue comes from. So if you were the leader of Iran, you'd also be funding terrorism because you have to keep oil prices high. Yet they accuse America of causing instability. Actually, America and Saudi Arabia want low oil prices. And that's to take any sort of humanitarian consideration out of it. Obviously, Saudi Arabia has given billions of dollars that they didn't have to do to help people in Yemen. What did Iran do about people starving in Yemen? Oh, that's right. They gave money to Houthis to buy guns. Or they just ship guns over there. That's where their money goes. Like all of the Russians and Iranians will give you is weapons, right? Whereas America and Saudi Arabia will give you food. So me right now, oh, she's triggered. She's got the triggered gif. And then she says, also me. We're an empire, you fucking prick. Done. The debate is over. Okay, well, she's right about that one. The debate is over. It's no longer going on currently. Brief pause as I snap the expression. When the loser states, by the way, I'm the loser, so states that it isn't true that the majority of vets won and the wars. And it's Liberty Lockdown looking like a deer in the headlights, just like, what? Except it's true. The military tends to be the most hawkish of any particular institution. She says, my thoughts, yeah, they do. They really do. Oh, how clever. She says, they're tired of fighting this stupid war. Kevin, you don't know what you're talking about, STFU. We didn't bankrupt Russia. They economically collapsed for the same reason we're doing now. They stayed in Afghanistan too long.
No.
No.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Extremely ahistorical.
Imagine like okay, here's something that's funny. Usually you think like libertarians and caps and stuff, like their big focus is going to be on economics. Like that's their main issue. It turns out no, usually their big issue is foreign policy, which is funny because they suck at it. But it also turns out they also suck at economics too. So like they can't do anything right. They're like, I mean, because a lot of these guys, they don't know anything about why the Soviet Union actually went bankrupt. They don't know anything about the arms race. They don't know how the Soviet Union didn't have the same economic capacity that America does. How America being 20 trillion in debt isn't actually that big a deal because America is a huge economy, and America also has leverage in that because America could just say to China, well, we're not going to pay back the debt, and then China would be screwed. It wouldn't be America that would be screwed. That and they were a communist regime. Think of Venezuela. Their currency collapsed first before their economic collapse. It was stagnant in the Soviet Union, but the economic collapse was largely triggered by, trying to keep up with the Americans, basically. Imagine America hadn't spent anything on the military and just said, we're just going to do our thing, bro. Just going to do our thing. The Soviets probably would have won the arms race. Says, I'm pissed. That's all I've got to say on that. Oh, that's awesome. I'm glad to see you're pissed like a week later on. Still awesome. Says the USSR doesn't exist anymore, Kevin. It collapsed economically in 1991. Yeah, you owe my camp a bit of thanks for that. Full circle.
By the way, Kevin, some news for you. The USSR collapsed. Did you not know, man?
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought they were still around. I thought it was like the Cold War and stuff, man. Okay.
That's like what Obama said to Mitt Romney.
Yeah, the 1980s called. They want their foreign policy back. That was super cringe.
Thanks for completely downplaying the growing influence of fascism in the world, you fucking prick.
She says full circle, delusional dick. That being said, you owned him at Liberty Lock Pod, hands down. That one's got 4 likes. Boy,
no.
You didn't witness it. Gas the place and set on fire. Someone give me that bullshit.
Yeah,
no. The cultists started, except the cultists did start it. She says, I'm going to add something here. America had 3 nukes, not 2. America was going to nuke Tokyo before the Japanese surrendered. So to say that we only had 2 is complete and utter nonsense.
You probably just said we only used 2.
Well, America used 2. And after the second one, like I've been trying to dispel with this notion that Japan was desperate to surrender before Hiroshima and Nagasaki. After Nagasaki, there was still a split in the imperial court over whether they would.
Yeah, otherwise they wouldn't have used the other one.
Yeah, that's so. She says, final thoughts. Neocons are progressives driving the speed limit. And it's this gif of this woman being like, fight me. She said, by the way, that might be the dumbest tweet. She says, that being said, I nearly lost my mind several times. Also, I'm exhausted. I need to practice some mindfulness after this bullshit. She says nuclear war equals world annihilation. Yeah, then why aren't we annihilated? There was a nuclear war in 1945. She says, Kevin, Iran doesn't have nukes. Oh my God, I'm trying to stop them from getting nukes, you dumbass.
God, she's so stupid.
God, she's so stupid, dude.
You gotta wait until they have nukes.
She's way dumber than
stupid, dude.
She's dumber than Ron than Jake Paul. She's dumber,
dude. Wait a minute. What was it, Kevin? You're so stupid. That's a
no.
You're stupid.
You're a stupid. You're a stupid nerd. Who's Reese. No. I need to do my Haas impression better. I need to do my Haas impression.
Stupid.
No. Wait, you stupid nerd! You're a stupid nerd who's stupid and a nerd. No,
you're stupid and dumb.
No, yeah. You're stupid and stupid.
Stupid. I need to make my protein.
No. But the dude Haas said something about like a vortex vacuum, whatever the hell.
Yo, this is like a vortex vacuum black hole or something.
Yes.
Alex Jones 2.0.
Haas is a meat. Okay.
Why does he sound like Wheeler from Captain Planet? Now I'm thinking
he does.
Yo, man, this is some straight up bullshit, man.
AOL blender noises.
Okay. No. He says, "Hey, well, I'm gonna go put this in the blender. Save this." And then he goes and operates the blender, and Sansol's like, so just for the record, he's operating a blender right now. For those who can't see, no. So this is so. What she doesn't understand.
But I'm sorry to interrupt.
But I never fucking claimed that Iran had nukes. But she wants to debate several times. No. But like just the smugness of like, Kevin, Iran doesn't have nukes, as if to imply that what I'm saying would make sense if they did. No, if Iran had nukes, she'd be saying, well, you can't go to war with them now because they have nukes. Oh, but you can't go to war with them before they get nukes because they don't have nukes. So why are they a security threat? No. The reason why I highlight this is that I want you guys watching this tonight to understand the tactics of the brainlet brigades. They always fucking move the goalposts. So, for example, they'll say, well, are you in the military? And if you say no, they call you a coward. But if you say yes, they call you a war criminal. So, likewise with this, or with North Korea. You propose something about North Korea before they have nukes. They say, well, North Korea is not a threat. They don't have running water. Why are you going to send people to die to deal with them? Why are you scared of North Korea? And then after they get nukes, they say, oh, they have nukes. You can't do anything now. No, these people are NPCs. These people aren't to be taken seriously. These people, the only reason we highlight these people is to laugh at them. Heather Strasberg is a clown. She's a circus clown. And that's her right there. You can go and reply to all of her brainlet takes. You know,
it sounds like targeted harassment to me.
It sounds like targeted harassment. Yeah, it's okay. She's not done yet.
That sounds stupid, actually.
Sounds like a stupid nerd. A stupid nerd, like doing
stupid nerd.
Yeah. That's like that South Park episode that took her jobs. Yeah, no. No. Reese is a nerd. I got this protein. I'm gonna put in the blender. Save this.
Somebody spot me, bro.
Yes, and then
I'm bulking, bro.
No, I don't need a spotter. Spotters are for nerds.
Yeah, I can do it myself.
I can do it myself, man. Do it myself. It's draining, man. Yeah, I had to define this shit. Right. I had to define this shit yesterday. Now you want me to define this shit again? And then no, but my favorite part in that is like right when Sansol chimes in to offer a counterpoint towards Chinese imperialism, That's when he loses it. And he goes from like being aggressive and stuff to just straight up over the top, like, no! like that dude is triggered. That dude is so triggered. But apparently he can't debate me because I'm too small time. That's what his fans are saying now, that he won't debate me because I'm too small time. Whatever the hell that means. Dude's at a channel that's got 2,200 subs and 12 hosts.
Get one of them. We could probably get one of them.
Yeah.
We could get Haas Jr.
Yeah, Haas Jr. Can you imagine Haas Jr. is just like, I don't need a blender. I smashed the protein myself, man. Like Haas Jr. smash. You know, it's like gank smash.
I had a bowl of nails for breakfast this morning.
Yeah, only Pinner people use blenders.
Without any milk.
I use my muscles as the blender, man. My muscles as the blender, man. You're a nerd.
Isn't there a meme with a guy like his head looks like a blender? Somebody should make a bunch of Haas memes with that.
I love how Reese pointed out how like he's calling Dylan Burns a nerd for knowing stuff about international law or whatever. Yet here he is debating about like communist theory and stuff like that. It's like, who's the nerd? Like the dude's a theory bro or whatever, you know?
No, man. Stalin was based. He was Chad like me.
He was Chad. He was a nerd. He wasn't a stupid nerd. Like, I mean, when you're in a debate, like you're in a debate about geopolitics, and one of your zingers is to call your opponent a nerd, dude.
That's worse than Chud. That's worse than Chud.
But you being in that debate is what a nerd would do, though. Like, because Haas is a nerd. Haas is a nerd.
I don't think I've ever heard a more triggered and lame alpha male in my life. He was constantly complaining. You told me it would be short.
This is draining. This is draining, man. He was crying. He was drained. It was exhausting having to define.
He could have left in 5 minutes in.
I want to see a debate between him and Rautism.
Hey guys.
Hey man, what's going on? What's new, man?
I still haven't changed my picture.
my man Reese, what's new?
Not much, man.
Not much. No, what I love about it is how there's not a follow-up. There's not a follow-up. My favorite part is like when he asked Wilson that. He's like, my man Wilson, what's new? And Wilson's man. Not much.
I asked him what a country was, and he answered unironically.
Wow.
Oh god, he's such an NBC.
He's a legend. There's
lawyers
like him.
Lawyers, you mind if we follow each other?
Can we follow each other?
Do you follow me? Do you follow me?
Do we follow each other? I did that with Henry, and he started following me. He knew what I was talking about.
Yeah, so the thread continues here. Done. My head hurts now after my blood pressure rose several times. By the way, she tweets that. Yet if I go back 4 or 5 times, she said done earlier. No, she said done. Oh yeah, she said done. The debate is over. And then like 15 tweets down, she says, after complaining, she says, done. My head hurts now. After my blood pressure rose several times. Oh, just like June. And then kudos to Liberty Lockdown for keeping calm, or at least keeping the appearance of being calm. And then where was the particular comment about, oh yeah, neocons are progressives driving the speed limit. So I quote tweeted that. There we go.
Sorry for the difficulties.
Yeah. No, I quote tweeted it. Actually, Reese quote tweeted it too. Amazingly delusional progressives and anarchists of all stripes are in lockstep on foreign policy. This is the kind of person who doesn't know the first thing about left-wing politics it shows. And where else is there? No. She said something that I responded to where she had one of the dumbest takes. gonna see if I can find it. Oh yeah, that's right. Because she said that neocons and progressives were basically the same, and she cited how they have the same policy of like drug prohibition and this kind of stuff. And I'm looking at this and I'm like, no, but I was like, wait, what the hell are you talking about? Like, because I'm gonna see if I can find it, because it was so stupid.
It was so stupid.
Okay.
Stupid.
Yeah, no. So I found it because I replied to her with that final thoughts. Neocons are progressives driving the speed limit. I followed it up with neocon, progressive, pick one. And then she said, what if I were to tell you they share the same goal? My point is that they're the same. Okay, but when it comes to intervention, no.
That's a stupid response too.
This is where it gets super stupid. So she says here, when it comes to intervention, they are one and the same. And I quote tweeted that and said, I can't get over how goofy a claim this is. When was the last time you heard a progressive advocate for regime change wars? Heather here is claiming progressives are the same as neocons on war. Goofy. And she oh no. It wasn't her. It was MD Vet for Peace that did the meme. You guys might have seen this guy around. This guy's super cringe.
Benedict Arnold.
His entire profile presence and everything is like anti-war. Like he mentions like anti-war in his bio, like on like a few different places. So I'm gonna bring up this guy's profile. It's kind of redundant. It's got like a vacuum black hole vortex profile.
It's almost like some people are themselves redundant.
This guy, militarism is more than a poison. Militarism is more a poisonous weed than a glorious blossom. And then you got him here, MD Vet for Peace, and it's like war with the elites and the pawns, and it's like war is worse than hell. Innocents suffer in war. Fallujah 04, Ruba 06, Nawal 9, Ascension 12, 0531, Defend the Guard, Anti-War. Why I am anti-war at Anti-War Podcast. It's like, okay, we get it. The problem is, he's missing there. He mentions Fallujah. Is he not aware that upwards of 3,500 Iraqis were dying each month on average under the entirety of Saddam's decades-long regime? What do you mean innocents suffer in war? The amount of people that died in the Iraq war as a result of the coalition forces was less than 6 months of a typical year under Saddam just being in power. Never mind the people that Saddam invaded in actual wars. So, like, the hell is he talking about anyway? So MD
it's a stupid point to make too. It's like innocents suffer in war. Of course.
Well, duh.
Like, way to completely miss the point. It's like saying water is wet. Okay, thanks.
But then he had a take, and this is a world-ending brainlet take. So we'll go to this.
Oh no.
So Carlos says, Lawbirds think everyone is a progressive, it seems like it, and a neocon. And then he chimes in with, you are progs, though, just a little on the slow side. You love all the prog inventions, the government, quote-unquote, social safety net. It's like, I want to reform welfare. I prefer negative income tax, but like, what? Are we supposed to not have any safety net whatsoever? What kind of stupid bullshit is that? The welfare horse standing army. Wait, how did I miss that? Wait, what does that mean? Wait.
Wait, is he talking about welfare queens?
No, I'm thinking, wait, is he talking about welfare queens, or is he talking about enlisted people in the military and accusing them of being like welfare recipients because they're in the military? But he was in the military. It's got to be both. Because some people act like the military people are coddled. They'll say, oh, well, they get their housing and everything paid for. It's like, yeah, but they risk their lives. Like, that's the least that the government can do, but whatever.
Yeah, they're heroes by default.
Yeah, exactly. Mandatory public education. Oh, so this guy doesn't want people to learn.
A lot of them are still active too, by the way.
Yeah, this guy says mandatory public education. So that's how neocons and progressives are the same. By the way, this is why that's a dumb argument, though, because social democrats and center-right people and even like paleocons, some paleocons, like almost everybody in mainstream politics supports public education. So, but that just means that progressive and neocons are the same. Federal control the curriculum. So, well, there has to be some standards. Drug prohibitions, all progressive policies. Hold on a second.
Progressives do not support that last part.
Progressives, does this guy watch Young Turks or anything? They are for like legalization across the board. He says you don't even have any idea that any of those government programs are detrimental to conservatism. So
if we're defining conservatism as nothing ever changes. But at the same time, a lot of these programs have been around so long, they might as well be part of a new conservatism.
Well, that's the thing is like, that's the tricky thing about conservatism is that conservatism, like unlike, because the thing about like, you know, left-wing politics is like, you know, left-wing politics across the board anywhere in the world is somewhat similar in that it's based around like, by and large, a similar set of, you know, I guess if you're being charitable, you'd say egalitarianism or like anti-classism, that kind of stuff. Whereas conservatism around the world is totally different country to country. Like conservative Indians are pretty different than conservative people in Chile or in Uruguay, like in terms of what they're conserving, or in America. But then it also ranges across time periods too, because conservatives in the 1850s are pretty different than conservatives in the 1950s or conservatives today. And there's a ton of different branches in conservatism. And he's defining conservatism as this like anarcho-capitalist sort of thing where it's like pre any sort of government interference in the economy. Like because you look at it, it's a very unitary approach of really like, you know, get the federal government out of literally everything, get rid of the social safety net, get rid of a ton of that stuff, which is interesting because most conservative politicians in the U.S. support Social Security, for example. So,
well, he'd consider them rhinos, basically.
But he consider them progressives. He'd say that they're no different than progressives at that point. So, so it's an interesting worldview. But like, because his profile picture there looks like something that a Marxist would make, but then he's got all this stuff. But it's like all this stuff about how neocons and progressives are the same. You could draw the same thing to say that anarcho-capitalists and communists are the same. They both hate American foreign policy. So
actually, bring up his tweets again.
Yeah,
this is it's a perfect view of why this kind of anarcho-nihilist worldview wouldn't work. So basically, you have a guy wants to gut the social safety net. So basically, fuck all the people who are barely getting by. I guess wants to cut funding to the military or people in the military, thinks that they're leeches, and even though he serves supposedly, wants to abolish a standard of public education. So it's not, education is going to not be free anymore, and people are going to be learning vastly different things, and it's basically going to be complete anarchy. Doesn't want federal control. And they don't like drug prohibition either. And I believe in some pretty radical drug reforms, but I mean, these guys are insane. Like they just want it all to just, there's no consequence if your community is flooded with an opioid epidemic or anything like that. A lot of communities out west here deal with methamphetamines and things of that nature.
Well, fentanyl's a big problem where I am, basically, like Vancouver Island, that kind of thing. Huge issue.
Anarchists are just so degenerate. They care so little for society and community. Well, it's disgusting.
That guy, Liberty Lockdown podcast or whatever the hell it is, if I recall correctly, he was the one who said, well, if you're doing drugs, you have, because I asked him, how does somebody who's addicted to a substance exercise their liberty? And he said, you have the right to ruin your life and your family's life. That's not my business. That's what he said.
How do you have the right to ruin your family's life?
Because he said, because what are you saying that the government should basically interfere? And I said basically yes. And
that goes against non-aggression principle.
That's what they don't see it as aggressing. They see it as, if a drug dealer sells you some meth and you get addicted to the meth, that's a voluntary economic exchange. There's no aggression being done. And if your kids get caught up on that, well, tough for them. That's their, like, these people. Here's the thing,
because they're your property.
You don't have
exactly.
I don't consider myself very conservative in general. Like in Canada, I'd be like, like conservative. I'm not even like a member of the Conservative Party or anything. I just despise Trudeau and shit. But the thing is, you don't have to be conservative. You don't like. You can be like a social democrat and very liberal. You can be progressive and recognize this nihilism as bad for social fabric.
Basically any argument they make is a perfect explanation for why those policies are in place. When they're just like, end the drug prohibition, and then you think, oh, that's probably why there's laws against certain drugs.
Well, yeah, I mean,
that's probably why.
Get rid of the social safety net. The thing that's amazing is like, okay, I've never listened to this guy's podcast before. I'm sure he probably talks about, he probably, I'm sure, based on the title and everything, he probably talks about injured veterans. So does he want to abolish the VA? Like, what's his deal? Does he not want there to be any?
Well, based on the standing army comment, possibly.
But how would that even work? Like, here's the thing that I don't understand about like the get rid of the social safety net people. Like, I want to replace welfare with a negative income tax because I think it would be more efficient and less costly, and a way of having a social safety net that doesn't result in creating a poverty trap. But imagine having so much hubris that you say, just because I'm healthy right now, you know what? Screw it. Let's get rid of every social safety net whatsoever so my taxes can be slightly lower. It's like, do they honestly not think that anything could ever happen to them that would mean that they would be in that position? Because there are people that even were like, very successful business people that wound up having to go on welfare if they got like some sort of debilitating injury or something, Like, what the fuck? What kind of society is this?
It's not. It sounds like a
nightmare.
It's basically just land with people. It's not you wouldn't have a country at that point. If basically there was nothing to prevent you from falling between the cracks at all, we don't think there's going to be a negative consequence. We don't think that's going to come back to bite us. We don't think that that's going to result in higher criminality, much more significant drug use across many communities. It would be like, think of all the anarchy we saw over the first summer of COVID. And multiply it by 10.
No, you're right. It would look like Minneapolis or like Portland right now. I saw a video the other day where some Antifa dudes were just like burning a courthouse with people inside. And like, the cops don't do anything. It's just chaos. It's like dystopia, except it would be like that, Reese, except instead of having a government there to eventually at some point lay down the law, all that would be there is just big, shadowy corporate buildings in the distance with like logos and stuff. It'd be like the cyberpunk sort of thing, and nobody's coming, unless you've got a subscription to some private police force, like
who I'm sure would be very kind. They'd exhibit a lot of restraint when controlling riots and protests.
Yeah, I mean. Because that's the thing. But these people, they get like the federal government out of everything. I'm sure if I were to press this guy, he probably doesn't think that state government should have that much power either, though. Like,
of course not.
Like, it's not like he's saying like that there should be a very strong, cohesive standard at the state level for education. I'm sure he wanted to evolve it beyond the state level, you know? Like, because it starts with the federal government, and then it goes down from there.
Why did this person even fight for their country?
Well, see, this is something that...
Good point.
I mean,
like, really, why?
One argument that I hear from people is that, well, people just join the military because they're poor and they need a job. I've never bought that argument. Then, like, why are people working at McDonald's or something? Like, there are people that are poor that work jobs that aren't in the military. I also don't understand the argument that, well, like, who are you to put people in harm's way that are in the military or whatever? It's like, well, it's a voluntary military. Like Kanzik said, what do these people want the military to do? Stand around and do nothing?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like, the whole joining the military argument is such a contradiction from the get-go.
Like, I thought the whole point of having a military was to defend your nation from attack. Obviously, the way that you do that is you prevent it where it emerges from, as opposed to waiting for the source to come for you. But these guys don't believe in that. They just believe in letting your enemy build up and build up and build up until they're ready for war. And then now you get the right to defend yourself when they attack you. Why would you wait for them to be strong enough to feel confident to attack you? That sounds completely ludicrous.
So you maintain the moral high ground, man.
Morals. By the way, history doesn't give a shit if you were on the moral side or not, whatever that means. All that matters is did you win the war or not? That's all that matters. Like, because I'm sure the freaking Nazis, some of them, felt that they had the moral high ground and that everything else was degenerate and stuff. Look how it worked out for them. They lost the war. So does history care that they felt that they were moral? No. So, like, and that's something that, like, some people out there, I'm not sure how many people, but I almost get this sort of impression that, you know, there are people who might intuitively think that, oh, well, they're the bad guys or whatever. It's like, no. Those guys, like Himmler and stuff, those guys thought they were the good guys, right? Like, they thought that they were, like, basically making the world righteous and stuff like that. They lost. The communists won and the West won World War II. So that came down to, you know, military strength, decisiveness, strategy, etc. Did morals play into that at all? Not really. We root for the moral side, not out of some deterministic sort of thing, but because we recognize that if our side doesn't play tough, the enemies will, and they'll bury us. You know, so.
You know what's interesting is, I mean, you know, you can't bring Godwin's law. You can't talk about World War II, even though it was the most significant historical event in human history. But beside that, like, I think that it really does prove what we're arguing for, because waiting, and we've talked about this before, but waiting produced much more casualties than it would have. You know, we could have seen this coming for over a decade. Look what it did for Russia. Russia was very content before Hitler attacked to not get involved. Yeah. They didn't give a fuck that Western Europe was falling.
Yeah.
And then what happens? They get invaded and they lose the most people in the war.
Yeah, they lost 32 million people.
And Stalin didn't give a fuck. Stalin basically threw his people into the meat grinder.
Oh, absolutely. They lost 32 million people in 47 months. When I calculated it before, it worked out to just over 5 people per second for almost 4 years. So
it's so funny when you'll have these communists that are like big upping, like, we defeated the Nazis, and it's like, you did a terrible job of it.
Yeah, they'll say that the Red Army lost the most people fighting.
I guess you're technically right, but I mean, really. And then not to mention that, like, once they pushed into Germany, the Russians were ruthless with their war crimes.
That's like saying China. Sorry, good.
It's just not something to aspire to. Like, I'm such a leftist. I care about human rights. By the way, the Red Army, love you. Ooh, Red Army, you're amazing.
Ooh. That's like saying China did a good job on COVID.
Well, some people have unironically made that argument actually. So
yep.
And those are some of the same people who are complaining about, oh, you don't want me to hug my grandma for a year.
Oh
yeah,
you're a dictator.
That's like Liberty Lockdown. His entire podcast, he got the name from the idea that the lockdowns were an infringement on our liberties.
Fuck
because
your liberties, dude.
He's communism.
Man. So this was the meme. I'm not sure who made this meme, but it's pretty good.
Oh, it's a classic.
Dresden. My family lives there, and mine lived in London. Bums away, bitch. Kraut's got a video on how that was justified. It's the same argument they'll see about like Hiroshima and Nagasaki too. It's like, okay, Hiroshima had 25,000 military troops garrisoned there. They were a massive producer of war material. Nagasaki was an industrial facility. I love how there's this notion out there that bases and aircraft and all this kind of stuff, it just spawns from the gods and you are given it to use in war. It's like, no, it comes from factories. Like where do people think they produce this shit? Like, do people not understand what total war means? And
there's a reason you don't really see it today. Like the incentive to go to war with an entire population was obviously it put pressure from within for them to end the war. Like, hey, you should probably stop fighting this war because we don't want to keep getting caught in the middle of your crossfires, essentially.
Yeah.
And you could do that with governments like Japan and like Germany. But a big part of the reason, obviously there's ethical concerns, but a big part of the reason you don't see it today is like, why would we have targeted the Iraqi population? Do you think Saddam would have cared?
No. That's exactly this was something that I was listening to a clip of Sam Harris earlier, and he was talking about the idea that, like, imagine if it were reversed in the situation with Israel and Gaza, and instead of Gaza, the Hamas using their people as human shields, Israel straight up just used women and children as shields at their military facilities and stuff, and said to Hamas, hey, if you fire rockets at this, you're going to kill like babies and women and stuff. What would Hamas do? They'd be like, awesome, let's go.
That's like, a twofer.
They're like, oh, two birds, one stone, because they're aiming to kill civilians, whereas Israel tries to minimize civilian casualties. So it works on Israel. You can do human shield tactics against Israel, and Israel will be like, oh, shit, well, that just made it more complicated. Whereas with Hamas, they're like, oh, they put civilians around the target. Let's fire more. That's the difference between them, on the moral side of it. But the thing that's worth noting, though, there is that strategic warfare is still a thing. There's still all kinds of war plans on the book that if a nuclear war broke out with, say, China or Russia, America's definitely going to be nuking their factories and their cities because that's where they produce their war equipment. And they do the same here. Like, there's a reason there are two reasons why they target cities. The first is it works as this sort of blackmail where it does keep the peace. Like, if you have rational actors and you aim nukes at each other's cities, then that's a deterrent from a war breaking out, even at a conventional level. But the second part of it is there's an actual strategic value in targeting cities because these equipment, they don't just get spawned out of nowhere, they get produced somewhere. So they target the factories, and people tend to live around where the factories are. That's the other angle of it. And no, strategic war could definitely be a thing in the future, like 100%. Like if Putin nuked America tomorrow, America would nuke Moscow and Novosibirsk and all their cities as well. So that's something people don't really talk about, I guess, but that's how a total war works. It would inevitably happen.
Actually, Kevin, I had to correct you. I think that the best strategy would be for Russia to nuke the smallest city in the United States, known as Buford, Wyoming.
Wyoming.
I'm not joking. I've actually been to this place. If people are not aware, to call Buford, Wyoming, a city is quite the claim. It would be like calling an anthill a city, really. It's basically one gas station with one dude who I'm assuming is named Buford. And that's the smallest city in the United States.
That's the smallest city in the United States.
They're official. They got a sign.
They got a sign. Population.
That's really where all the enemies of freedom should be aiming their armaments if they want to make America surrender.
I'm just imagining like Putin gets like more money or something, and he builds up his nukes to like what they were back in the old Cold War or something, and like he's got like 80,000 nukes now, and he's like he says to his war planners like they say to him, they're like, we got a problem, Putin. We got too many nukes. America doesn't have enough targets. And he's like, well, did you get every city? And they're like, well, there's one that we weren't sure if you'd approve us targeting or not. And he's like, what is it? It's like, it's Buford, Wyoming. And he's like, well, why not? Just target it. It's an American city. And he's like, well, only one person lives there.
You're gonna really fuck up Don Salmon's day. That's
no, but like if you were to make like a movie where that actually happens, like a Red Dawn style movie, and like Putin actually like fires the missiles and he targets Buford, Wyoming, 100% the missile misses by like 30 miles. And so it's just like oh well, it's still population 1. So good luck. Like like, because that's the other thing about the Russian nuclear arsenal that people don't really talk about too much is like their missiles don't exactly work that well. Even their new shit, 90% failure rate. They don't really like to talk about it. So, there is that. Never mind their older stuff. I mean, like, at what point is it like a paper tiger? Like, don't get me wrong. Some of their stuff would work. But some of it, even some of the newer stuff, is overrated. Like, they'll do these tests, they'll do these exercises, and they'll show it working. But they never broadcast the failures. So you never see those. You only see it when they have a proper Bulava test or a Sarmat test or whatever.
Yeah, we have a very false view of what it's actually like.
So when a war actually did break out and you had the Iskanders, and they've been terrorizing NATO with the Iskanders deployed on the Polish border that can reach Germany and stuff from Kaliningrad. They got 500 kilometer range. They're dead accurate, and they carry 500 kiloton warhead. They were used in the Armenia-Azerbaijan war with non-nuclear warheads, and they had a 90% failure rate, and the Armenian prime minister was like, these things are unworkable. That's the state of the art. So you can imagine what their older shit is. I just, this is something that bothers me when people say that America spends too much on the military, that America spends multiples of what Russia spends. Yeah, but America's stuff works. Like, at some point, wouldn't you rather pay more for quality than that? Like, would you actually prefer that America spend the same as Russia? Can you imagine how many things would be duds if that was the case? Like, I mean,
yeah.
Imagine, right? There was some report or whatever back when Trump struck the Shayrat Air Base in Syria. There was initial reporting from the Russians that every single one of the Tomahawks that were fired, there was like over 100. Every single one of them failed or were shot down. I'm looking at them, I'm like, yeah, bullshit. Obviously, they most of them work. But if it was the Russians and they did that at an American ally, there's actually a chance 100% of them would not even work. So, can you imagine that? It's like, oh man, like, none of them got through, and it's like, what, did they shoot them down? It's like, no, they just crashed. Like, what? Why did we pay for this stuff, man? I mean, I think after that, I mean, if you're one of those world leaders out there, like, and you're the leader of like some smaller country that's, you've bought some stuff from Russia, you've also bought some stuff from other countries. After this, you might want to consider buying stuff from the United States going forward. So, I mean, think about it, because Armenia lost the war big time. That was a matter of life and death for them, and they had to rely on what on paper looked like really formidable Russian technology, and in reality was a piece of shit that they paid a premium for. So
missile no work.
Yeah, it was a dud, bro. And then meanwhile you got America. And people are complaining that the F-35 cost $1.5 trillion. They're saying it was like a huge disaster, that it's a scandal. And I'm like, here's the thing about the F-35. The F-35 can detect and fire missiles at the equivalent that the Russians have, the Su-35, which isn't stealth. They can detect it, fire the missile, and turn away and leave before the Su-35 even detects the F-35 on its radar. So the Su-35 is going to get a warning that there's a missile lock on it and that there's a missile headed towards it. They're not even going to be able to detect the plane that fired it. So at some point you have to say, well, the Su-35 costs what, 30 million? The F-35 costs 150 million. Oh, but the F-35 is more expensive. It's like, yeah, but an F-35 could destroy every Su-35. Like at some point, you have to pay more for quality.
Yeah, man. Just send Maverick over there.
Like, again, would you rather have these, or do I have any Russian stuff on here right now? I don't, so I'm gonna have to settle for the next best alternative, or this.
Oh, it's my enemy.
He's one of their weapons too.
I thought you said you didn't have any Russian pictures.
That's true.
This is the most Russian picture I've ever seen.
That's right. I mean, well, actually, there is one that's slightly more Russian. That's this one. Yeah.
Spooky.
Yeah, spooky.
That is so outdated considering the art that Arthur created.
Oh, that's true. I did see that. Well, we'll have to get that on here down the road. But yeah. So
how you gonna pay for it?
How are you gonna pay for it? Yeah. So Kyle would ask you, oh yeah, well, it's all good to have like good technology and stuff, but like, how you gonna pay for it? Meanwhile, he wants to do stuff that would cost like 10 times what the Pentagon spends.
What about my potholes, though?
Yeah,
well, health care, bro.
Yeah, the
no, it's that meme. Healthcare, please.
Oh, that's that meme. That's right. That's
sad.
Sad memes. Was there any other brainlet stuff? Oh yeah, so that was that whole brainlet thing about how progressives and neocons are the same.
Yeah, basically everything that the demented woman said was wrong.
No, but like, can you imagine though? Can you imagine that like AOC and Elizabeth Warren and everything were like just as hawk-pilled as Dick Cheney and John Bolton? Can you imagine how based politics would be if like every mainstream political figure was a hawk? Can you imagine that? Like, it didn't matter which party. Like, you vote based on social issues and taxes at that point. Like,
yeah,
you know, like, can you imagine?
I guess they think, like, when that one guy was coming at me talking about how, progressives are warmongers, is he talking about Joe Biden?
Oh,
like they have this image that...
yeah, that's a good point.
They have this image that Joe Biden's like this super progressive guy, which basically is a lot of political posturing, honestly, for the time being. But the administration is largely in favor of diplomacy, so I don't even know what you're talking about. They've done one thing that could be remotely called militaristic.
It's a war, man. It's everything we do in terms of militarism is a war.
That's right. Hey, he responded 28 minutes ago tonight. Said, read The Progressive Era by Rothbard.
My PDFs, bro.
The PDFs, bro.
He did the meme.
He gave you the playlist.
He gave me, oh, that's right. It's a full playlist.
I guess you don't need to read.
I guess I don't.
You can just listen.
Oh, dude, it's 16 videos. And the channel.
Hell no.
And they're all well over an hour long. And the channel is Liberty in Our Time. And
who has time for all this? We're normal people.
Oh, geez. Oh,
Jesus Christ.
Cringe. This guy's got 5 million views. Description. Whoever wishes peace among peoples must fight statism. Ludwig von Mises. The only freedom which deserves the name is that of pursuing your own good in our own way. so long as we do not attempt to deprive others of theirs or impede their efforts to obtain it. John Stuart Mill. Peace will come to earth when the people have more to do with each other and government less. Richard Cobden. All war must be just the killing of strangers against whom you feel no personal animosity. Strangers whom in other circumstances you would help if you found them in trouble, and who you would help if you needed it. Mark Twain. That is incredibly ironic, because the idea, of course, being, oh, well, you know, those Iraqis that you murdered, you would have helped them if you saw them in a street alley, except that's what America was doing by liberating them. Likewise with Afghanistan. Are you fucking kidding me right now? I mean
it's that
are you
level.
Fucking kidding me?
That level of idealism is just too much of a luxury.
Like just the irony, though. Because
I guess maybe
liberation war.
Maybe in another life, you know, we would have been friends. Want to be friends? But
would it be famous friends?
Dude.
It doesn't.
No, dude.
It's not important.
No, dude. His links are just crammed. He's got libertarianism.org, Center for a Stateless Society. I didn't even know that was a thing.
Can he at least clip it out?
No, I'm going to actually show you all of his links that he's got.
You got to read it all, man.
You got to read all the
PDFs.
You're right.
He's got more PDFs.
Else we won't be free.
The next one is hilarious. Okay, so this libertarianism.org, Center for a Stateless Society, the Electronic Intifada. What the fuck? So he's like a Hamas bro. Feminists for Liberty, Cato Institute,
oh god,
Praxeology.net,
Boo.
Library of Economics and Liberty, Reason.com, Leading Heart Libertarians. That sounds like Fifth Column podcast or whatever. The Radical Center. Wait, the Radicals. See, I see what they did there. Radical Center, right? Like
that's like the rebel moderates.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then antiwar.com. Oh, that's a website.
Oh, cringe.
Dude. Right Wing
Watch.
Wait, isn't Right Wing Watch like a left wing thing?
Yeah.
Yes.
Media matters for America. Same here. Wait, so like, is this guy far left or far right? Like, because Rothbard's far right. Rothbard's like beyond capitalist. That dude's an ANCAP. What the fuck?
I guess I was right about libertarians being communists.
Well, no, it's like horseshoe theory. Like, what the hell is right wing? Feminists for Liberty, Bleeding Heart Libertarians. Like, it's this strange blend of like the hippie left from the 60s blended with the ANCAPs of the Austrian school from the late 18th or the late 19th and early 20th century economics of like, you know, we don't need a social safety net. We're too badass, bro. And taxation is theft, coupled with a radical anarchism. So, it's kind of like all the cringiest elements from like the radical left and the fringiest elements from the radical right, all smashed together. And you know, I guess the only thing that they're missing from the radical right that they could probably add to be more cringy would be racism. I don't tend to see a lot of racism from these guys, but that's about it. That's really the only thing that I can say about them is I haven't really seen much in the way of racism, but that's it. That's a low bar. So
yeah, no, I mean, honestly, it's kind of the opposite, which can sometimes be just as bad when they're talking about, oh, the drug war is racist, man.
Oh,
it's
that's
like,
oh, racist.
Like, I cannot tell you. I've heard that so many times, and it's so each year it becomes more ridiculous hearing it.
Well, I don't get this idea that like somehow we're just supposed to tolerate the cartels. We're supposed to do nothing but a ditch
because they're not white.
But he well, not just he, like a few of these guys that I've debated have argued that it's your right to get addicted to drugs. Like they don't like I like that's why I did the meme. That's why I posted the meme out on Twitter where I'm like, you know, I was impersonating an ANCAP and I was like, or a libertarian. And I'm like, libertarians be like, my free market, and I'm like, okay, but like, do you believe that externalities are a thing? And it's like, well, yeah. Like, do you believe that negative externalities can emerge from free market? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, so what do you want to do about it? And they're like, but the free market will take care of it. It's like, oh, god damn it. Like,
you could just send them PDFs, man. PDFs,
yeah,
man.
like that's their answer. Because like every time that I've asked these guys, like Keith Knight, for example, I would ask him of the externalities, and he would go back to like some free market principle that would mean that those externalities wouldn't happen because people would have the incentives to be good people and all this shit, and that's not inconsistent. You know, people getting together and saying that what that company is doing is bad and not buying from them. You know, I think he was the one who made the point that, like, let's say the company was polluting a river and whatnot, then people would not buy products from them. And I'm like, okay, but they're not going to say they're polluting the river. They're going to say they're being environmentally friendly. How are you going to find out about it if there's no regulatory body?
Even if they knew, like, would most people even give a fuck?
Probably not. Probably not.
Like, are people really that environmentally conscientious that,
like, I don't understand.
Like, what we buy products from companies in China that pollute a shit ton. Why would anyone give a fuck?
I don't. Okay, here's the thing. I don't understand this idea. Like, I know that a lot of these people are super young and hypey and everything, and they got a lot of energy. Liberty Lockdown's like, he said he was like 36 or whatever. I don't get the invincibility complex. Like, I've never really had that sort of invincibility sort of thing. I used to have a lot more energy than I do now, but like, I've always been like aware of my mortality and shit, you know? Like, I mean, but for these guys, they're like, oh, well, you know, if anything goes wrong, you know, say I get in a car accident or whatever, I won't have to worry because by the time that happens, I'll be a billionaire Elon Musk dude and I can pay for it. It's like, yeah, except what happens if it happens right now and you're not a billionaire? Then what? Like, because they don't believe. They don't pay for it. They don't believe in a social safety net. Right?
Delusions of grandeur to the utmost, basically.
I mean, I would love to see like a follow-up with like one of these ANCAP bros, one of these libertarian bros that did get like seriously disabled or something and had to rely on government assistance to see if they changed their ideology at all after that. Because it seems like the only way that you could believe this shit is if you were perfectly healthy and that was that, you know, and greedy. So
I guess maybe they're counting on, you know, communal charity to bail them out. But I mean, even that is far from guaranteed.
I don't think that could happen though, because that's one of the arguments that conservatives would make is that, well, you'd have more charity if you had a stronger social fabric, so you wouldn't have to rely on the government so much. These guys don't want a government, but they're also like the social fabric that these guys would have. They're like, oh, you got addicted to drugs and your family's a mess now? Well, fuck you. That was your choice, man. I don't think there would be much charity in this society. Seriously. I don't think there like that. That doesn't breed. Like I'll say that
charity would be looked down on.
I'd rather
why are you messing with someone else's business?
I'd rather live in like the stereotypical Leave It to Beaver 1950s, like I guess TradCon sort of thing than Ancapistan. I'll say that.
Oh no. They're worse than they're worse than the freaking Walking Dead.
No, but think about it, because if anything goes wrong in this world, like anything, you get injured or something and you can't work for a few days, oh, you're fucked. Like there's nothing. There's no unemployment insurance. There's no workers' compensation board. There's nothing. Like
you're injured. You cannot go out and hunt rabbits for the family.
It would be like, you know, people have described it as feudalism, but even feudalism had a social contract where, you know, serfs were, you know, entitled to at least, you know, live on the grounds and shit like that, and they still had a house and everything. That like this world would be worse than feudalism.
Feudalism is far too. This would be dystopian Mad Max. Just clusterfuck, basically.
But they'll say to me, I was seeing their argument because I was making the point how, like, well, you know, if you get rid of the government, then people's worst instincts will come out and all this stuff. And they're saying, like, well, we have a government now and all the psychopaths are in charge. So what about that? So, like, because these people think, like, Joe Biden's a psycho and everything. And it's like, imagine being that coddled that you think that this is worse than the Lord of the Flies that would happen if you did away with the state. I mean, it's almost like it's not even worth talking about because this is never going to be a thing. But the fact that there are thousands of these people big upping each other on Twitter, being like, yeah, down with the state, man. But like, we're not like those ANCOMs. Those guys are degenerates, man. Those like they hate the ANCOMs, right? Like those guys hate each other. The fact that they're all out here big upping each other. I mean, I love what Writing Time said. I debated him last night, and he said straight up, he said, look, you know, we don't agree. He and I don't agree on stuff, but on some stuff. But he's like, look, I hate the people on my own side. And he was telling me how like he's trolled Ace and his followers, and how they'll like, you know, he was saying, he's like, Ace, oh yeah, you said that you know, you knew it was a troll or whatever. Nah, I got you, dude. Like that guy hates Ace. He was making the point that these guys are losers, that that you know, they have no substance. They basically just virtue signal. And that's really what all this is. It's to show how radical you can be. Like, oh yeah, well, I'm for -5 safety nets. It's like, oh yeah, I'm for -8, you know?
I think I'd take Karl Marx in the chat as president over these guys.
Well, the thing is
he in the chat?
No,
these guys wouldn't have a president. There wouldn't be a president. It would literally just be Lord of the Flies. There'd be no state, bro.
First, I thought you were talking about the real Karl Marx. Obviously, I'd take him.
Well, yeah, both. Yeah, they can both become.
How do we know it's not the real Karl Marx?
That's a good point.
Yeah. You're right.
Have you ever seen them both in the same room at the same time?
I mean, we have the real Leon Trotsky here tonight, so how do we know that's not the real?
You're right.
The real Karl Marx. So.
Actually, no, I'm his special little brother, Trotsky.
The Trotsky.
Will the real Trotsky please stand up?
Oh man. Yeah, see, that's the thing. I'll see. Yeah, that right before we go off air, I'll see if I can find that stupid comment. Like every time I'm going to hear the word "stupid" now, I'm going to think of Haas.
Stupid.
So, good job, Haas.
Stupid.
Good job, Haas.
By the way, that completely deranged woman, I don't even remember her name. What is her evidence that prohibition doesn't work? What is her definition for something not working? Well, is the definition that one person is still they're willing to break the law to do a certain drug?
Oh, that's a good point.
I mean, you know, drug use is a problem, but it's far from like most of society. It's not like alcohol was back in the day.
Yeah. Well, I found it. I found it here. This is a comment. This is a comment on an interview with Bill Kristol by David Brooks from about 10 years ago. They're talking about Irving Kristol's selected essays, and Arian Afshar says, Kristol, referring to Bill, has inherited his father's evil Trotsky. And by the way, in the interview, Brooks asked him, like, "Oh, your dad was a Trotskyite in college," and he's like, "Oh yeah, it's kind of a joke." And it was basically kind of
he was lolling and balling.
Yeah, he was lolling, and he's like, you know, and he looked back on it as kind of like, you know, college days basically. But of course, Kristol, like Bill inherited his father's evil Trotskyite ideology, which is evident in constant warmongering. So he did the meme. And then CD Blue, whoever the fuck this is, 1 month ago, by the way, this wasn't even here the last time I looked at this. Spot on. Dude, what?
Oh my God.
A video that's 10 years old, by the way, month ago. Well, I'm going to comment on that, I guess.
I commented too. The Trotsky.
Tronsky, spot on. Wait, so what do you mean spot on? So Attila the Hun and Alexander the Great. I'm going to ask that right now. I'm literally going to ask him that right now. I'm going to fucking ask that right now. I'm literally going to type it out right now. Were Alexander the Great and Attila the Hun Trotskyites too? They did some wars, bro.
He inherited the sins of the father.
No, I'm pretty sure Alexander the Great inherited the the Trotskyism from his dad. So
the Trotskyite gene.
Yeah. Okay. Oh man. Yeah, I like this one. Oh yeah, and why is Crystal constantly grinning? What a bunch of weirdos. By the way, I love this because you can tell when they're fuming and fuming.
Only
when, like,
weirdos smile.
Because like I'll often see this where like people like look like I'm like people will like I'm anti-elitist, but I'm also anti-populist. But like some of these like stupid populist people, they'll make fun or call out like wealthy people for like smiling or grinning or whatever, or like successful people for constantly grinning or whatever. It's like, look, if you were a successful former staffer to presidents and all this kind of stuff, you'd probably be generally pretty happy. This guy spends his time bitching on the internet, so the idea of being happy to him is probably a foreign concept. Says one wonders about the psychology of the war. Oh, I love this. This is a meme. This, you know what? This might have to become this might actually have to become a new meme here. A new meme. I'm just gonna bring this up because the way that he phrased this, again, this is something that goes back to what I was saying about the lack of a command of the English language from our opponents. Just gonna bring this up. Okay. Yeah. So this guy commented this 8 years ago, by the way. But it goes to show you how the brainlet takes are timeless. Could have been 80 years ago. Could have been 5 years ago. Could have been 2 years ago. So here we go. I like his choice of words, though. He says, Brooks is such an uncomfortable and wooden guy. No charisma whatsoever. Far cry from his arrogant and condescending columns in the New York Times. Why is Crystal constantly grinning? What a bunch of weirdos. One wonders about the psychology of the... And here's the phrase: warmongering. No. That's a new one. I saw this. I replied to this a year ago, but it says warmongering of these fellows. Wait, warmongering as opposed to peace warmongering? What?
Wait,
like what? Why is it that every time we look at a paragraph from our opponents, there's some stupid phrase in there that makes no sense or totally redundant? Like, what's next? A vacuum vortex black hole?
Yo, man, you're like a vacuum.
Yeah, well, you're like a nerd. You're like a nerd. Stupid nerd.
Oh, this is dumber than people who say that cardio makes you fat.
By the way,
oh my god!
I'm not sure if we pointed this out yet, but I always find the phrase like "stupid nerd" to be kind of funny. It's kind of funny if you actually think about what you're saying.
It is hilarious.
Like, but he said to Don Bird, "You stupid nerd." So,
hey, you know stuff that makes you stupid
nerd.
I'm surprised he wasn't doing a bro split on stream. Oh god!
Well, no. Apparently, he was standing during the debate with his fist clenched.
Of course he was. Of course he was.
You know, I knew one of these like rage bros back in the day in high school, and like
same.
One time, this guy came over. He was playing we were playing games on my PC, and he was but I didn't have like controllers or anything. We just had a keyboard, so like take turns. And like one time, he like lost. So he smashed my keyboard. I was like, dude. Get the fuck out. Like, what do you mean? Like, what are you doing? Where's Hawes? If Hawes ever comes over, he's going to break your stuff, even if you're buddies. Because anything goes wrong. Anytime anybody asks him anything, so that's trading, man. It's like, you asked me what I wanted for dinner yesterday. Now you're asking me again. That's trading. He says, these guys couldn't defend themselves against a 4-year-old. Newspaper tough guys, pathetic. And I'm like, they've done more to liberate people from dictators than you have ever done. So, I'm not sure that guy's still on YouTube, but that was 8 years ago. But yeah, it does show something, though. that these talking points aren't new. It's the same shit, like regurgitated decade over decade. Like all these guys on Twitter right now, there's going to be another generation of these brainlets saying the exact same thing in 20 years, you know, but we can try to change minds and everything, but we should also recognize there's still going to be people that are this stupid, like that MD vet for peace dude in 20 years. They're going to be, you know, stupid nerds or whatever.
Stupid nerds.
Yeah.
I think that's their liberty. It's their liberty to be stupid.
Yeah,
as long as they don't infringe on my sanity bubble.
Ha
ha. Actually, that's not true. There's far too many of these people for me to idly sit by.
Too many of them though, because if I retweet Reese, now all of a sudden they go and flood Reese with cringe. So it's like
I get such a wide assortment of cringe too.
Dude, I had an ANCAP retweet me. I think it was based on my profile. He was like, "Which one are you, a dirty worker or a Jew?" And then everyone kept retweeting that, and I had a bunch of replies.
MMI, is that you?
That's one thing. That was one of the memes that they were doing in the chat and stuff, is they always be like, have fun being poor. The idea that, like, if you don't get on the ANCAP bandwagon and become like a crypto bro with them, that you're going to be poor your whole life and a poor status paying taxes.
Crypto is not worth anything right now.
No, but these guys are super crypto bros and we have to pay taxes unlike them. So
they have to pay taxes.
They don't pay taxes. They're too tough to pay taxes, man. So
yeah, press X to doubt on that.
Also, guaranteed a lot of those guys saying have fun being poor have less than $500 in their crypto accounts. So, you know, it's like, it's just a meme, you know.
If they were really rich, would they be hanging out in the live stream chat?
No, I you know, like Liberty Lockdown guy, I don't know what he does or anything, but he said he's an entrepreneur, business guy. He's probably pretty wealthy. Like I was listening to his chat with Ace and on his podcast, he seems like a pretty rich dude. So, and he's an ANCAP. So there are wealthy people out there that have time for this crap. So,
well, yeah, I mean, the content creators maybe, but their underlings, probably not. Those are the people who are giving them money.
It's like what you said. Who's the bigger fool, the fool or the fool who follows the fool?
Yeah.
Excellent. Good.
Yeah.
I understood that reference.
Oh, that's because you're a stupid nerd.
Oh, you're a nerd.
You're a stupid
you don't
nerd.
lift weights, bro.
That reference, man. The only reference I get is this blender, man.
I understand blender references.
No, I mean, so do you guys like, because like he face posts? Do you guys know what he looks like? Pause.
No,
I actually don't.
Okay, because he's just. I mean, I've got one of him sitting down here. This is one from.
We need one of him standing up and raging. I think would be the most fitting.
This is one from a video from a guy who has 3 subscribers that doesn't like him, called Hawes. Infrared is a fellow cock. Wait, the video. No. The video.
A fellow cock
is hashtag infrared, hashtag cuck, hashtag breadtube. And if you don't know it or not, the implication behind me calling him a fellow cuck implies that you too are a cock. Okay, interesting. Not sure this guy's ideology. That's the only video that he's uploaded, and it's a 46-second clip of Haas. Not sure what Haas. Oh, you know what?
Let's do it.
No. I go to click over the video just to see like what kind of what it looks like, because he's just sitting there kind of like thinking pensively. And I'm like, oh, maybe he's being quiet for once. I just scroll over it and immediately he's like, you know, so I could actually have to download the video so we can play it, because it looks like he's screaming at the camera. I thought that he was like, No. I thought that Haas was going to be calm and philosophical for once, because this is what he looked like on screen.
That was very optimistic on your part.
Like but he looked very pensive and like that's.
Oh
him
God,
right
he does look like a Neanderthal. What the
no,
fuck?
but he looks like he's like thinking.
He looks like baked Alaska's.
No,
last
I know,
twin.
but like it looks like he's like thinking like deep thoughts about like how I wonder like if the blender spins 8,000 rotations per minute, how many times does it spin each minute?
A modern Aristotle.
Modern Aristotle, that's right. But instead we got Haas. I mean, I'm just guessing based on his expressions in the sample feed that he's going to be yelling, that we're in for a dose of cringe for 46 seconds.
I mean, to clip him being calm would really just be false advertising.
False advertising.
So
Yeah.
I would have had to like report the video for false advertising.
Yeah, Haas is a spaz. So I haven't seen this, so we're going in. We're gonna see what this is. So.
Fuck it, we're going in.
We'll do it live. I love that insult, fellow cuck.
Yeah, that's what you are.
If you're gonna insult.
So that was Haas's idea for an own. So he's calling himself a cuck while he's calling someone else a cuck.
We're gonna have to start that.
I love that insult, fellow cuck.
Yeah, that's what you are.
If you're gonna.
Okay. No.
That's what you are. You're
okay.
You're
No.
one of the fellow cucks.
This is worse than Richard doing. No, that is what you are, because he's saying, "Oh yeah, well you're a fellow idiot." It's like, wait, what does that imply you are? No, look, I'm telling you guys, Haas is not smart. like, I mean, this is cartoon villain level stupid.
Look at that pronounced forehead.
Oh, at least the alt-right's not in the chat.
No,
because we'd be in a bloodbath.
Look at those forward set brows.
I like what Arthur has to say.
The skin folding around the mongoloid skull of this
Rage
man.
Bros is a good name for them all. Okay, let's continue.
Insult me, dude. I just want to lay.
Oh no, dude!
Was he a conductor? Way to burn them calories, bro.
Even when he's sitting, he's constantly doing rotations.
Oh my god, dude. Okay.
Oh man. Oh man.
He's one of a kind.
He's twitching and glitching and we're lolling and balling.
Oh my god.
He looks like he came from the Neolithic age. Yeah, man. He does.
He's way less advanced than they are.
Oh my god, dude. Oh my god, dude. Okay.
People say Neanderthals died out, but I don't believe that.
Press X to doubt on that.
Their lineage, it carried on. Let's just say that much.
No, this.
Some bloodlines ain't pure, y'all.
This reminds me. This reminds me of when we were watching Haas's performance against Dylan, and the second they ask him, or the second they bring up a counterexample, he loses it.
It's draining.
No, he says, "No, I let you talk. No, you listen to me talk." It's like, no, dude, you interrupted the whole time. What are you talking about?
I let you talk. I was talking the whole time in the background, but I let you talk.
It sounded like it sounded like he was lurking and jerking in the background.
I like Olympian God's comment. He's like ooga booga.
Because
Booga, booga.
Oh man.
Okay, this guy's a total lolcow. Somebody needs to make a lolcowpedia entry for Haas.
He Haas, closely related cousin to Otzi.
I'm gonna go and get some water, man. I can't believe how funny that was.
Are you gonna go to your blender, man? You need a protein shake, man.
I am go put this in the blender. Save this.
Oh man.
What did he mean when he said save this? Did he mean save the video? It's a live stream. It was going to get saved. Okay, whatever. What a moron.
No, that's a compliment, man.
That's too nice.
Yeah.
I mean, some people have some very serious mental imbalances, and they probably just shouldn't be online. I'm gonna say that much. And poor man, Haas, if you're listening, you should go get some medication, my dude.
Yeah, and then come on the debate.
Actually, no, you shouldn't get medication before you come on for the debate, because the only reason
do
you'll
it
be
before.
interesting is if you're completely unhinged.
So here's the thing about Haas. It seems like this is his go-to move, where he'll go from like, oh yeah, and then like the second anybody Ooga booga. He just he loses it. Like, because I've never seen anybody go from 0 to 100 like that. Like
no,
like,
it's 0 to 9,000.
No, I know. Like because like look at how Kami is here.
It's over 9.
No, but like look at how Kami is here. Like okay, there.
He's
there,
calm, but you can see the psycho in his eyes.
No, I know. I would just say here.
I like Kamalji's comment.
There's the 2 second time differential between those.
I told you, Kevin. I feel bad. This guy's gonna give himself a stroke at this point.
No, I know, but like, how the hell do you end up being Haas? What's his origin story? Like, seriously,
his origin story.
Like, no, seriously, I want to know. Like, how does one become Haas? One does not simply just become Haas. Something had to happen. Like, what went wrong? Like, think about it.
One does not simply walk into Haas store.
Like, again, look here. That's at 0 minutes 5 seconds. That's at 0 minutes.
No, you.
That's at 0 minutes 7 seconds. So it's a 2 second difference between this. Where he's like, oh, and
how interesting.
No, he's worse than Keek.
Of course.
It's Keek Smash.
This is cringe overload at this point. Smash. What are we doing? No. Okay, that's better. We can look at that.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Where's? Oh, there it is. There's the one.
Like, he returned to monkey.
You fucking monkey. Oh man.
Oh my god, dude. So we're 7 seconds into this video.
Might as well start it over at this rate.
Yeah, we might as well. we're gonna start over.
We're 0
We're gonna stop more than we stop for Kyle. That's how sad it is.
That's quite. This is why we can't watch Haas on the show, by the way. We wouldn't actually address anything.
No, but this guy is okay. So I gotta tell you, after I watched the Dylan Birds thing, like for the first time, I was like, how does that guy even exist? Like, who the hell is this guy? And I'm looking, I'm like, he's got fans, he's Haas, he's infrared, and all this stuff. And they're like, oh, you know, like, yeah, infrared, and like all these.
Actually, he's one of the hosts of Infrared.
Yeah, he's one of the hosts of Infrared. Yeah, so let's take a look.
I love that insult, fellow cucker, fellow cuck.
Fellow cucker. That's what he called him.
Yeah,
Yeah. Like, yeah, what are you gonna do?
Yeah,
about it?
owned you.
Yeah, just owned you. Just called you a fellow cock. No, see, this is the thing that I can't get. He's
Does anyone think that women like this guy?
No, but okay. I guess I'm just gonna have to explain it. When he called the other dude a fellow cuck, it's implying that Haas is also a cuck, but he can't figure that out. He like
pointing at the obvious too much.
It's forward to him. Like he's like, yeah, that's what I called you.
Honestly, if we need to explain that, we're attracting too dumb of an audience.
But he can't figure it out. Like what?
I love that insult, fellow cucker, fellow cuck.
Yeah.
Oh, badass.
You go own.
No, I guarantee if we were to look into a different 40-second clip, just random from a stream, we'd also find total cringe. Like total.
Just random clip.
I mean, I'm just imagining like Blender fails right now. Where he's like
Blender fail.
No, he's
blended up noises.
I put the protein in the blender, but it won't blend. And like one of his chat, like he'll say, "I need my chat to back me up. Chat, I didn't do my research. Can you help me out here?" And one of the smartasses in the chat would just be like, "Comrade, did you try turning the blender on?" He's like, "Oh, that's a good one. I'll write that down." Write that down.
Haas is like the human embodiment of someone turning on the blender without the top on, so it just sprays all over the room. That's Haas.
He's almost certainly done that just this week. Like, I mean, he's not a bright dude.
Oh man,
that's an understatement, dude.
No, but like if you go into his group, his Discord, anytime any of the Hawks came in there, they would call us Anglo-bots. Implying we're like British and English and descendant from like, you know, the UK as opposed to wherever the fuck Haas is.
Weren't there people in the chat when we were going over that first clip and they were saying that Haas was not white?
Yeah.
Look at this guy though.
He looks, I guess he's like Talcum X, right? Like,
unless he's like some Slovakian. Like, I guess you're technically Asian, but you're like the most white-looking person ever.
We can continue.
That's what you are. If you're gonna,
that's what you are. He doubles down.
That is what you are.
That's what you are.
No, that is what you are.
Okay. No, you.
Yeah, no, you. Okay.
Insult me, dude. I just.
Gets me every time, man.
Okay, I was rewatching the part, like I think it's 49 minutes into our coverage of Haas, which actually works out to like a few minutes in the actual video because we had a lot to say about Haas. But
I like this comment. He makes Hassan look like Ben Stein.
Yeah, I was gonna mention that.
Wow. It's true.
She's not wrong.
It's true. Okay, but here's the thing. Here's the thing about Haas. The way he goes from like just 0 to 60, just like that, it's hilarious. He's like, oh, no! Like
he's the angry. Oh man,
rage in him. Like, I mean,
he's the angriest NPC I've ever seen in my life. The
angriest robot in existence. I mean, what's his origin story?
Haas dial-up noises.
Okay.
I want to see a debate now between Haas and Ben Stein.
Yes.
It would be like the most strange debate of all time.
He gets so triggered though.
Now listen here, Haas. I'm going to explain. No,
explanations. You pirate.
I would hope he asked him in definitions. What's the definition for that?
You pirate.
I wanted to get us clear on some definitions.
Pirates. They're pirates.
Don't mention the definition.
Pirates.
You dread pirate Roberts.
Pirates talk about definitions. You pirates. You stupid nerd.
I want to see him debate autism now.
Okay, again, we're 7 seconds in. So not even. Okay, we're at 4 seconds. Okay, let's go.
That's what you are. If you're gonna.
I like how
we're never gonna get past this part, man.
It's such a dumb insult.
Okay, we gotta get past.
We gotta get going, dude.
He could have just called him a cock. He called him a fellow cock. He called him, but like you see, there's like this hint, like some part of him right there is like, wait, did I screw that up? Like there's
just a bunch of white noise going through his head.
Because when Dylan Burns was explaining stuff, he's like, oh. and Dylan Burns,
that was funny because in the debate, he said something like "fuck you" to Burns, and Burns was like, "Actually, that's only for my partner to do." And this guy was like, "Wait a minute, no, not like that, no."
No, homo.
I think Haas wants a daddy.
Like you see the inkling, like the beginning machinations of some thought process that says
the beginning machinations of some thought process
that says, "Oh wait,
dude, he has the eyes of a school shooter."
Oh wait, did I do an oopsie there? Did Haas do an oopsie right now?
Let me check with the chat. Chat, what do you think? Chat agrees. Chat agrees with me.
Did Haas do an oopsie? And
let's do it.
Haas did a no. Okay, that's
yeah. That's what you are.
If you're gonna insult me, dude, I just want to lay this.
Kevin, this is your fault.
I can't get over
damn it, Kevin.
Stupid this is though. I mean, I almost it looks like he's slapping wings right now. You can see the circular arc.
Imagine he just starts flying.
No, but you can see the arc where it's like it looks like they're propellers. Basically, it looks like it almost looks like a Thomas the Tank Engine sort of thing right now. Like except it's an airplane. Like I'm an airplane. Like the memes from like being like a 6-year-old.
If Haas flew, he would most certainly be.
No, it looks like he's like a seagull or something here. Like seriously, like just look at this. Like
he crashed. Oh my god.
No, dude. Okay, I almost died laughing for 5 minutes, just stopping it where he goes from like 0 to 60 immediately. I can't get over how much of a lolcow this guy is. He has to be one of the stupidest people on the internet.
I will seriously moderate a debate between you and this guy. Just to be in this shit show.
He said I'm too small time, man. Small time.
Yeah, but
who's the guy he's talking to though? It's probably just some random dude he brought on.
Oh man. Okay.
Oh god.
Yeah, no, he's scared of me. Okay, we can continue. We'll go back a little.
Me, dude. I just want to lay this out there. I love that insult, fellow cucker. Okay. Fellow cuck.
Yeah, that's what you are.
If you're gonna insult me, dude, I just want to lay this out there.
Please insult me, please. Give what you got. Give what you got. Go ahead.
I'm just saying, if you're going to insult me, then you could at least come up with one where you're not also insulting yourself. Because
wait a minute. Well, that's the obvious. Okay, so let's point out again just the utter retardation that's on display here. So the guy he's talking to said, if you're going to insult me, and then Haas just randomly out of nowhere says, please insult me, even though he already insulted himself.
Yeah, it's just fucking stupid. He's the lack of self-awareness of this fucking
stupid.
So this guy's talking about him, Haas insulting him, and he's saying, no, please, no, you insult me. That's not what he's talking about, you fucking tard.
God,
he's not saying... he wasn't even necessarily going to insult you. He was talking about you insulting him.
Yourself,
Neanderthal
idiot. Again, that's a compliment, Reese.
Fucking Cro-Magnon, man. Fuck this. I mean, how dumb can you be?
He's dumber than an amoeba. He's dumber than a microbe.
I've never seen someone this dumb.
No, but like Bolton's disappointed. Like Bolton didn't have high standards. He had low expectations for Haas.
You're dumb, son.
And he's dumb, son. He's like, look, I had low expectations for you, and you still disappoint.
Because if you don't know it or not, the implication behind calling me a fellow
look at his face.
He's like, go on.
What was that?
Hmm?
What?
Hmm?
Okay.
What are you saying? That's interesting. I might have done it.
We're 20 seconds into this video. I'm convinced every every minute of his stupid live streams, which are like 4 hours, has to be gold. They have to be gold. Okay.
Yeah, who would do 4-hour live streams? Am I right?
Oh
wait.
Oh, good.
Oh wait, we do that. Never mind.
Hey, at least we're not this guy.
Okay,
that's true. That would be a living hell right there.
Know it or not, the implication behind calling me a fellow cuck implies that you too are a cuck.
I called you fellow cuckler.
Okay, Spurg. What? He's so stupid.
The implication is that you are also calling yourself a cuck. I called you a fellow cuckler.
Is
there a difference?
He's such a Spurg.
Actually, I didn't call you a cuck. I called you a cuckler.
Yeah, it's like the implication of you calling me a fellow idiot is that you were also an idiot. And he's like, I didn't call you an idiot. I called you fellow stupid.
I called you an idiot-er.
Is that even a word?
Idiot-er. Fellow stupid.
You stupid.
Stupid.
Cuckler.
No, but you can see, you can actually see he's really thinking about it right here. It's really trying. He's really trying to figure it out. Like he's like, what do you mean? Like I'm trying to follow. Like okay, I'm just imagining like Haas in school when they're like going through, like, okay, well if 2 + 2 is 4, then what do you get if you add another 2 to it? And Haas is like, oh, it's 4 because you're adding 2. And they're like, no, Haas, we got over this like 18 times now. It's 6. He's like, but you're adding 2. And you told me when you added 2 before it was 4. But then you added 2 again, so it's gonna be 4 again, right? 4.
Dude. Guys, it actually might be worse. So the only definition I'm finding on Urban Dictionary for cuckler, when a man or woman becomes your friend to have sex with your significant other. So it's not even really an insult unless you're calling someone a dirtbag who slept with your girlfriend.
Yeah.
Okay.
But this is like barely liked by anyone. And other than that, it's not a real word.
Did he make that entry? Is it from Haas?
Nah, this is from 3 years ago.
Okay.
Dude.
This is not something that people normally say. No one uses the word cuckler.
Yeah.
Dude. I've never heard that term before.
But I just liked that the one definition I could find actually wasn't an insult.
No, it sounds like something from 4chan. Like, isn't this guy like a communist? Like,
does he not know what cuck is short for?
Oh,
cuck is short for cuckler.
Yeah, he thinks that's what it's short for, almost certainly. Okay.
Haas just proves the point that IQ is partly genetic.
Haas can't debate me because I'm too small, Ty. Can you imagine how much of how enraged he would be by like? Can you define cuckler?
It would be a nuke house, man.
All right, cuck.
I called you fellow cuckler.
He's like, yeah, that'll show him.
I like the comment, Haas cold-blooded. What about that was... And people are saying, fuck this guy. What the fuck is wrong with you people?
That's Haas's chat. So...
Every one of those people are idiots.
They're all for Haas. Like that's
like, clearly.
Haas has fans.
I don't know how worse they are.
Haas is though, because
they gotta be worse.
Dumb, but like even if you're a communist, you'd have to look at that. So it's CPUSA 2036. Oh,
my favorite comment is this guy. This guy is bread tube.
Oh yeah, they're insulting him. Yeah.
Oh man.
So that guy that he's debating, I guess, is CPUSA 2036. So I guess the guy's a communist who wants to be president in the 2030s, and this guy here thinks that they're like bread tube corporatists, I guess. So.
Or the guy talking to him is, but I don't know who that is.
Okay, well, let's go.
Fellow cuck.
Yeah.
As in, I'm a cuck.
No. It doesn't mean you're my fellow. It means that's your name. You're so.
What?
What? Wait.
I don't think this guy doesn't know how language works.
Fellow. No, now I'm trying to think. Wait, no, this is so stupid. Now it's getting me second guessing. Wait, is Haas? Does that work? Can you say to somebody, fellow idiot, but in a way that's not also calling you an idiot? Like, I'm trying to think right now because there are research fellows, Like you can have a fellowship at, say, the Brookings Institute. You could say you could say fellow Robert Kagan, and be
you
like,
have to put it in context. You'd have to say, yeah, you and your fellow idiots.
yeah.
But if you just call someone a fellow idiot, yeah, you're calling yourself an idiot.
You're calling yourself, right? Like now I'm second guessing myself. Like, is he on the? Like, is there an idiom in English where you can call somebody like a fellow clown, and it's
Kevin,
just like
you just need to accept that Haas is always wrong. Like there's no extra layer to this. There's no version of this in which he's actually right. It's impossible.
Duba's do is stupid.
No, I wasn't calling. No, not me. No, you.
No, you.
you.
I'm not the. Women love me.
Okay, let's continue.
You're my fellow. It means that's your name. You're someone's fellow.
What?
What?
You're someone's fellow.
Why?
Haas, you're the dumbest person I've ever listened to in my life.
Like,
I'm not even joking. I'm not exaggerating.
So
There's no one who is even fucking
People
close.
thought that Vosh was dumb. This guy.
He's the dumbest human being on the planet. He's dumber than a kid who I know who literally asked if a triangle was the shape of the stop sign was the shape of a triangle. He's dumber than that fucking kid.
I have an important announcement to make. Haas's ethnicity is kind of in question, but on behalf of the whites, he's rejected out of the tribe because this is just.
Oh yeah, Devin would kick this guy out in 2 seconds.
This is going to weigh down our IQ average too much to be acceptable. I think we're gonna give him to the Asians just to like make them on an equal playing field with us. I think will be for the best.
It's like you send him over there, and now all of a sudden, whites have the highest average IQ.
Damn, okay.
They got billions, right? But yeah,
don't feed
savage.
Yeah.
Oh,
now that's what's called cold-blooded, idiotic chat.
I love how he's doubling down. Let's continue.
You're my fellow. It means that's your name. You're someone's fellow cuckler.
No.
I just want to point out.
Look at that face.
We've been talking about this for like half an hour now. We're 35 seconds into it.
This is the Castley way.
He's dumber than Kyle. He's way worse than Kyle.
Even Kyle's like, what the hell is this guy?
Get a load of this guy, guys.
Hey, I found a brainlet.
He's dumber than the worst brainlet ever. He's not even smart enough to be considered brainlet.
Brainlet implies you have some primordial brain to begin with. Yeah.
This guy's just a let.
Yeah, he's just a let. Okay, let's continue.
You're someone's fellow cuckler. To BreadTube, you're BreadTube's fellow cuckler.
Wow.
So that's his context.
Insert that Billy Madison meme.
Yep.
We're all dumber. Everyone here in this room is now dumber. As a riddle what you said.
No,
God
I
have
mean,
mercy on your soul.
I'm like guessing myself and stuff now. Like it's true. He actually makes us dumber. Okay, let's continue.
See how words can have different meanings?
Yeah, they can if you actually provide a context that makes any goddamn sense.
No, that's training. I had to provide context for something 3 weeks ago.
You see how words can mean different things. So if I call you an idiot, it means the same thing as if I call you my fellow idiot.
What? I wonder what MMI would think of this guy.
This would reiterate everything MMI thinks about the working class, and I would have no argument in response. Like MMI, he really should have just come to the debate with.
No, but this guy's a full-time YouTuber. Like, is that working class? I guess that's working class, but like, he's not. I heard him say on his stream or something that like, when I tuned in, that like he was from like a privileged background or something. Same with Vosh. Like Vosh is like Beverly Hills privilege and shit,
exercising their guilt.
Yeah, let's get to you.
See how words can have different meanings?
If you really
you're
think
BreadTube's
I'm just like
fellow
BreadTube,
cuckler.
I'm very sorry that you believe that.
I know that.
I know
that. Wait, hold on. What did he say?
if you really
You're
think I'm just
BitChute's
like
fellow
BitChute,
cuckler.
I'm very sorry that you believe that.
Nah, I know.
I know that.
I know that.
I
Wait.
wonder how much saliva is on his computer screen.
That's what he fills his blender with.
Dude.
He just scrapes it off the monitor.
Don't want to waste all this protein.
I need to fill my anabolic window. That's why I'm so pissed.
Hey, I know that.
What a clown, man.
No, that's insulting to clowns, dude. That's insulting.
Like
he's just dirter.
Can we put a limit on people speaking English if they don't know how to?
Dude, check out No Name's comment. Hedefax versus Haas, who has a meltdown and starts crying first. That is fucking gold. I would pay $10 million.
It's easy. I mean, come on, it's gonna be Haas.
Like, it would be Haas.
Dude, she'd make him
There's
cry.
no beating Haas in that.
She'd make him cry.
I love that insult, fellow cucker, fellow cuck.
Yeah, that's what you are.
If you're
wait, he also. He clarifies later on that he called him cuckler, but when he repeats back cucker, he says, "Yeah, that's what you are." So you can't even stick with.
As far as I know, that's also not a word.
No, he's so stupid.
Well, wouldn't cucker be like one who makes someone else a cock? Like,
well, that was the definition I saw for cuckler, so I would assume it.
Oh,
again, it's not a thing that people actually say, but I guess
like it's not. None of this stuff is what people say in regular. Like, this is the thing. Everything in the chat, all the references, all the stupid idioms and everything. Nobody talks like this in real life. Even these communists don't talk like that in real life. Like,
I like how they're talking about this Caleb. Who the fuck is Caleb?
Caleb Maupin. It's got to be Caleb.
Oh, yuck. Yuck.
Yeah, he because he says he went after Caleb, fuck this thumb, because Haas's fans are big supporters of Caleb Maupin, right? So,
bunch of tankies, man.
Yeah. Well, yeah, they but like they're unironic. They own it. They're like, yeah, I'm a tanky. What are you gonna do about it? But yeah.
I love that insult, fellow cucker, fellow cuck.
Yeah, that's what you are.
If you're gonna insult me, dude, I just want to lay this out there.
That's never not going to be funny.
We've seen this guy's reaction to BreadTube people and Dylan Burns.
Can you imagine an actual hawk, like a war hawk that defends capitalism?
Oh,
this guy would just melt.
Like how would that even like? Because he thinks Dylan Burns is an imperialist school, so.
Welcome to the Ghoul Gang.
Give what you got. Give what you got. Go ahead.
I'm just saying, if you're going to insult me, then you could at least come up with one where you're not also insulting yourself.
Because look at the cross-eyed stare of this dude.
He's like, what?
If you don't know it or not.
He looks like Zach Galifianakis with Down syndrome.
Oh, dude. Oh.
That's a bit too spicy.
Calling me a fellow cuck implies that you too are a cuck.
I called you fellow cuckler.
I didn't call you fellow cuckler.
No, but I love
he's way worse than Coppercap. He's way worse than Coppercap.
No, I love how his defense is like, no, but I called you fellow some other insult, as if that negates the point that the guy is making. r/whoosh.
You were right to bring it up earlier, Kevin. No, he didn't stick to the same insult. He couldn't even remember what he said. He couldn't remember what he said like 5 seconds ago.
No, he's a mess, Reese. He's a mess.
Well, I mean, really, you got to think about what's going on behind the scenes. There's no brain in there. There's just a blender.
Like,
imagine seeing
the top off.
Is that a duck in the background by the door? Like, am I just seeing things because I'm tired?
Yeah, I see it too. Yeah.
Is that a duck? What the hell?
A duck is a cuck, man.
A duck.
I didn't call you a duck. I called you a cuck.
Oh yeah.
I called you
this guy on crack.
Oh, dude.
Smoking crunk on the woods in the weekends.
Cuck. Yeah. As in, I'm a cuck.
No. It doesn't mean you're my fellow. It means that's your name. You're.
That's not a name.
This is so stupid. I can't get over how stupid this guy is. Like, I have to be up relatively early, so we are gonna have to wrap up the stream. But I think this is one of the funniest things I've seen in a while. I mean, everything I've seen from Paz is really funny. So, wow.
If people really want to give us a good time,
your BreadTube's fellow cuckler.
Just clip Paz. Really. I don't know if we'll bother with him on the show, but we can bother with him on.
Not anything more than like 3-minute clips, because it takes longer to respond to him per second than Kyle. So
honestly, no, he's not enough big time for the.
No, I know he's not big time, but people, now that people in this community know what Haas is about, he's a big meme here. He's a huge lolcow. He's like the new Liz, you know. And
he makes Liz look like a fucking scholar.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Well, no, scholars are for nerds. It's for nerds.
Who could forget? Aren't you a lawyer? No, I hate them.
I hate them. It's like I love Sansal's reactions. Like, then what are you doing in law school, you dumb fuck? He loses it. Well, but like again,
there's other things you can do with the law degree, man.
But he loses it every time. There wasn't a moment in that debate when Burns or Sansel said something that he didn't flip out in response. Like,
so you're telling me there wasn't a moment where Haas says, "Oh, I'm sorry, I disagree with that."
Hello.
I'm disagreeing with that.
My man Wilson, what's new?
My main man.
My main man.
Wilson.
I disagree with that.
New? Do I spot a cringe cube?
Your last stream with Spooky Nookies was annoying.
That stream that Reese did with Kevin was very annoying, and I didn't appreciate it.
I hope Dragon sees our accounts and responds to me and says, "You're the bear?" ? And
no, Dragon.
That is what you are.
You are.
No, Dragon saw all of our profile picture changes, and he just kept asking standard questions. He didn't even bring up the bear. I don't even think he knows. Honestly,
is he actually a real person?
Is the funniest thing.
No, he never brought up the bear. He never asked why did you guys change your? He just kept on being mind if we follow each other, and I'm a second wave feminist and this kind of stuff. He didn't I'm literally using his profile picture and he's DMing me
is he actually a human being or is he a robot? I'm serious.
No, he's been on the stream before. He's for real. He's a real dude.
No, oh man.
There's no way, man. Was he really noticing?
No, because Suzuki was like, how? Because it's a Wilson too. He'd be like, my man Wilson or whatever, and it's like, what's new? And Wilson's a bear. Literally his profile picture. You would think the question might be, why did you make your profile picture me? But instead it's Saw Clips or Goodfellas, that kind of stuff. I forget what he was asking Wilson today. There was a lot of stuff about how he felt that the stream was annoying. There was what else did he tweet? He tweeted stuff about gun control. There was stuff about at Grayson, you can follow me, all right? And at Wilson, do you mind if you follow? And at Anthony Roberto, do you remember me? At Wilson, do you follow me?
We should all just change our profile pictures and just ask him the same bot questions, dude.
You know what? Prometheus got called out tonight. We haven't heard from Prometheus in a while. He's a cool guy, but god damn, he got called out by Dragon tonight. We're gonna wrap up with this because I gotta get going to bed. But I can tell you this: Prometheus got absolutely eviscerated. Let's take a look at this. Boom. Guilted. He's not following Dragon. His friends follow Dragon. The implication there is, why the hell aren't you following me? By the way, I don't.
He didn't tweet at me at all today, which was weird because he tweeted me 3 separate times yesterday. Can you please follow me?
Yeah. At Gen Z Moderate. Do you follow me on Twitter? Dude, you have
you can check.
You have 19 followers. It's not
so
that hard
stupid.
to find out. That's okay.
He's the first neoconservative NPC I've ever seen in my life.
At Arnett Kyle, I'm friends with some of the people you follow. And he responds with, "Oh, nice." No. This is
nice.
This is such an NPC string of
He's worse than Death to Western Imperialism.
No, this is actually more cringy than Death to Western Imperialism. This is some robot stuff. Like, I'm gonna show you just a highlight of what was tweeted today from that account. It's pretty funny. I'm
pretty sure Dragon's the guy who's always on the phone line. Your call is very important to us.
Yeah.
Please.
Okay, so like Anthony M. Roberto, is there a way for me to DM you at Arnett Kyle? I'm friends with some of the people you follow. Oh, nice. How are they? Pretty good. You can follow me. That's such a non sequitur. Anthony M. Roberto. You remember me, right? At Anthony M. Roberto, do you mind if you follow me? At Spooky Nuki, can we follow me? No, you're right. No, you're right. He's an NPC. Like,
dial-up noises.
Like, he's what the progressives imagine Wolf Blitzer's like. Oh, Republicans say this, Democrats say that. I can't tell the difference.
I can tell the difference.
Beep boop, malfunctioning. Like, oh, dude, do you mind if you follow me? Can we follow each other?
How does that song go again? Beep boop bop, beep boop bop, beep boop.
Yeah, this
beep, boop,
this dragon thing. Oh, there was a response to pretty good. Can you follow me? Because BDC said K, so started following, so it worked.
K.
So that worked. Okay, so you got a follower out of that.
Honestly, he's one of my favorite accounts.
No, I know.
Yeah. He's so funny.
Like,
he's irreplaceable, man.
No, I know.
But I'm not following him because that means he's just gonna DM me bullshit. I kind of want him messaging me to be public because it's funnier that way.
I asked him what a labia was.
Why?
Someone in the chat told me to. I asked him what Libya. What's a Libya?
Oh,
it's a country. What's a country?
It's draining these definitions.
No, I like this one. At Spooky Nukies, nothing personal, with all due respect. I did not like the last live stream you had with Kevin at all. No, I like this because sometimes he's very. Because sometimes he'll be very blunt and like he won't use very many qualifying terms or whatever. This one uses a lot of qualifying terms to drive home the point of how much he didn't enjoy the stream. So you take a look. He really didn't like it. He says, nothing personal, with all due respect. I did not like the last live stream you had with Kevin at all by any means. I still support. Okay.
Thanks. I think I like that.
It's kind of funny. It's kind of funny.
Yeah. Sorry, bro.
You know what, Reese? I didn't really like the live stream either. So
you were on it.
Yeah, it was kind of annoying.
Hello. You are annoying. That is what you are. No, that is what you are.
No, I like this one.
Oh, no.
Like, because Aiden, or Adine rather, tweeted out 22 people followed me and 3 people unfollowed me. Automatically checked by he's got the app. And then Dragon, of course, responds with, "Can you follow me?" No, no likes, no replies, nothing. At American Madhouse, you mind if you follow me? No response. At American Madhouse, I sent you a direct message. No response. Nothing. At Grayson, hey Grayson, no response. At Ranting for Canada, that's Daniel Boardman. Hey Dan, how's it going? No response. No one. At Prometheus.
He just wants friends. Come on.
Might be YouTube friends. At Prometheus is God. Hey Prometheus, haven't seen you in a long time. No likes, no replies. At Spooky Dookies. Oh my God, you actually you actually made up the term liberal unliaterism. Okay. Let's go. What else is there? I want to earn the group chat.
Keep tweeting, man.
At White Clay Pool, did you hear from Net 7 lately? At RDF Net 7. This one might be my favorite because of just how random it is. At RDF Net 7, 5.
Wow, that was right.
No, I'll show you. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, I'll just
that's a real tweet.
There's no you might be wondering broader context. Is this a thread? No, he just tweeted that.
Okay, actually everyone should tweet at him and ask if he follows you.
Dude, when Kevin would reply to me when on the Trotsky video of Bill Crystal, what's the difference? Saying he did the meme. You said, "Will you follow me?" He responded, "Sure."
No, but I was asking you that.
Yeah.
And he responded with, "Sure." You know,
God damn, dude.
No, dude,
he's such an NPC.
No, it's beep boop. Hello.
Oh God. I'm trying to actually
do I spot a vegetal that is cool and good?
Cool pooter.
Cool and good. No, I like this one.
Dude.
No, dude. This is from March 3rd, 2021 at 5:24 p.m. At RDF Net 7. At 4:27 p.m., I sent you a direct message. There was no response, no likes.
No, Kevin. We have to have him DM Ian Stevens.
I'm looking through my notifications to find him and tweet at him, but there's so many goddamn bears.
No, there's so many. I thought, like, when I got on my break today and I saw that there was the bear in the chat, I'm like, wait, who the hell let him in? I thought he was like somebody had him blocked because I see this. Neo Konosuke, by the way, had the best tweet from the day. You know what? We'll close out with a tweet from Neo Konosuke. This is hilarious. Let's bring where is it? From Asuka. Because Asuka was asking about the bears, and Asuka had here it is. This is pretty good because a bunch of us changed our names or our profile pictures to the bear because we are hashtag all the bear.
I just tweeted at him.
This was Neo Konosuke today. What is the stuff bear profile picture thing? 6 likes.
Oh my God, dude.
Because on the Suka's end, it's a column. You see 6 in a column, but here it's a row. But it's like, various profiles with the bear.
It's amazing, honestly.
No, but it's an army, dude.
The bears have assembled.
Bear gang assemble. It happened. This is a good meme. I think a lot of people had a lot of fun today. A lot of people are like, what the hell is going on? Why are a bunch of hawks on Twitter bears now? Stuffed bears? Well, he needs to debate you, dude. You need to check your ego, Reese.
It was pretty good. I stand by the best thing that happened in the community was when all the e-girls were simping over you.
Oh, that was pretty base. That was pretty funny.
And people's reaction to no, what is this?
That was pretty funny, honestly.
We were rubbing shoulders with all these e-girls that we didn't agree with on anything.
That was funny. I think, that was pretty funny. I think as far as 2021 goes, though, it's a pretty good meme. That's a pretty good meme right there, dude. It's an army, dude. Because think about it, there could have been there were 19 people that liked that tweet eventually, but the first 6 were all the bears, and he got that image, and it's just bear, 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 bear. They all like it. Those are separate accounts. I mean, he must have been thinking we need to stop, accepting new followers until we can figure out what the hell is going on.
Bear Stan is not sending his best.
Care Bear Stan isn't sending their best. They aren't sending their greatest. They're sending NPCs and clones.
Oh no. No one wants to see Dragon Raw versus Haas. Oh god,
dude.
That would be the greatest debate in history.
Oh my god, yeah, because originally,
Henry, will you be my friend?
Henry was originally going to try to get Milsro.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
that would be pretty funny.
Henlo.
Hey Reese. Hey Reese. Yo. At 2:25 a.m., I sent you a direct message. True. It's
so specific and random.
Can't deny facts like that, man.
Yeah, somebody should just respond with true.
True dat, bro.
Yeah.
Hello.
Gangsta Kyle.
Gangster Kremlin Kyle, yeah.
Big seltzer.
Hello.
Big seltzer, bro.
I would like to purchase 1 corn cube. I am very hungry.
I would like to purchase 1 crypto.
I would like to buy 1 stonk in crypto.
I am rich in stonk cryptos.
I would like to purchase 1 follow.
I would like to purchase 1 stonk in Dragon Bot.
Henlo, have fun being poor.
Oh man, what?
Henlo, Dragon.
By the way, there are still bear profiles on Twitter.
I didn't
change mine.
But I'm keeping mine as well.
Reese Spooky Nukies he's still a bear right now. So
yeah, no, honestly, it's probably gonna stay that way forever.
I like how there's no mention. He didn't ask any of us what's up with the bear thing. He just goes about his day oh, he is the bear. I don't even know if he noticed, honestly. I mean,
I liked my tweet. It was something like, "Hey guys, have you seen my bear? It's a cool bear, right?" Cool. Isn't that what he said? Why is your profile picture a bear? Because it's cool.
That's right. No, because Henry asked about that because he's if people were wondering if that bear is if it's real, if it's in your apartment or what's the deal with the bear? And Dragon said, No. I just I needed an avatar, so I went on the internet to look for something cool to make my avatar. So.
Hello, I would like to purchase 5 badonkastongs and 5 extra fonlos.
Hello.
By the way,
like my glass eyes.
That bear is definitely real. He's got different pictures, different angles.
That bear has seen some shit, man.
That bear has perpetrated some shit. Normally you think of the seen some shit thing, saw war crimes go down in Vietnam. No. This guy perpetrated war crimes in Vietnam. Especially if you see the other angle of the bear, where it's like it's looking kind of top down and has that smirk. No, like straight up, like he knows where the bodies are buried. So
this bear saw Andrew Gillum doing meth off a toilet seat. That's all I'm gonna say.
It was Andrew Gollum doing moth.
Doing moth?
Moth. Andrew Gollum doing moth. His precious moth on the toilet in Florida.
Andrew Gollum. Andrew Gollum, maybe.
He did it in the toilet on Florida.
Yeah. Oh, well, I got to go to bed, guys. I got to be up in a few hours. So it's been fun. So I'll probably be streaming tomorrow, probably. So we'll see. We might have a ghoul.
I was going to say, wait a minute. Did he forget?
We might have one. Might have a special guest, too, who is never wrong. So take a look.
Ooh.
Anyway, we're always guys. Wrong. So big ups to Patron Gang and everything. And thanks for your support. And yeah, stay based, everybody. And I will see you in the next video.